Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Heal the Deal, a place for metaverses, for like emotional support club, and basically just a place where we talk about anything mental health related, emotional sensitivity, and intelligence. And today I'm back for another week with my good friend Josh Pierce, an amazing 3D artist. If you have been on the channel already, you may have seen Josh about like a year ago or something. So it's been a while, right?
Yeah, I think it was last summer. I was on with my friend
Yes,
Ryan
but was it
Johnson.
summer?
Yeah, I
Oh
think
my
it was
god.
like August.
Okay, well, that's actually pretty on point though. Like we're in June now.
Yeah,
So,
almost a year.
yeah, tomorrow is my birthday.
Tomorrow's your birthday. Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Not saying this because of just like to have like greetings and all of that. It's just saying this because I'm feeling I'm feeling goddamn whole old. Like I'm turning 27, and like 27 is like the rock star kind of year, right? It's like
Is it?
either you pass or either you smash. So it's gonna be interesting.
That's great. 27. So I remember turning 27. First of all, let me say I'm in August this year. In 2 months, I have a birthday also.
Oh,
And
oh, you're a Leo? Are you a Leo? Or no, a
no,
Cancer,
I'm a Virgo.
a Virgo. Sorry.
I am a Virgo. Yeah. Um,
Damn.
in 2 months, I have a birthday. End of August, August 27th,
Okay, we're taking
and
notes.
I am turning the big 40.
Oh, you are. No way. How does that feel?
The zero. Absolutely insane. Um, I can't believe that I'm about to be not in my 30s anymore, which is it's very strange. I think turning 30 was like one thing,
Yeah,
because I'm like cool, like let's go, like I'm ready for it, like I'm ready like for my 30s to be great, um, but I'm not ready for my 40s at all. Like I'm getting very old, very quickly.
well, first of all, I need to say that I have a lot, like, I think I have a bunch of friends, artist friends, that are not in their 30s anymore, and honestly, they feel way younger than I do sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
especially because, like, when I see you, like, in real life, I never would have thought you would turn, like, 40 because, like, you're so like energetic, like you're so dynamic. Like when I see you, I always feel like you're always like super just like there and like quick and just like I don't know how you do it.
Oh, thanks. I try to keep myself young, but I do remember turning 27 because 27 because my birthday is on the 27th
Yeah,
of August.
that makes sense.
So they call this your golden birthday when you turn the age of the date of
Oh
your
shit.
birthday.
So mine was like when I was 7, so
Yours was
that's
7, you
fucked.
missed it.
Okay.
And so if you can remember back to your 7th birthday, it probably was pretty awesome.
I guess I
I
didn't have
remember
friends.
I remember my 27th birthday because I was in rehab.
Oh my god. Where are
I was
you?
in the facility, and I was like, "It's my golden birthday, guys!" Like,
Well, that's something. I feel like that's also something that we never talked before. I
yeah,
didn't know you went through this. Like, was it like rehab for
yeah.
like
I
drugs
mean,
or
there
like
it is. Just
alcohol?
drop it right on the podcast, right there,
It's fine.
live. Yeah,
Was it like, is this
but
something you're comfortable talking about?
oh, totally. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's fine.
How
It's
do you feel
fine.
about like? So that was like your 27th birthday, but I assume that it also like went with you throughout the years as well, like towards your 30s and all of that. I
Yeah, yeah,
assume
yeah.
that's something you carried, like you're carried with you as you went. I assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's really it's comfortable and easy for me to talk about because like you know um, it was like a lifetime ago. Like it was
Literally.
like it was so long ago. Like it it was a different I was a different person, back then. And like yes, I was in treatment at that time, in my late 20s, and like I was struggling with addiction, and um, you know, I it I was turning 27 at that time, and then I didn't actually like really get free and clean like until I was 30.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so it took a couple more years, but like even now, that was like 9 years ago, and that was like, I mean, that was like a lifetime ago, and I think like spending the last 9 years like taking care of my mental health has turned me into a different person, and
Mm-hmm.
has turned me into a person where I don't even know who that person was back then,
Yeah.
so it's a whole thing, but part of that is obviously like making art and like sticking with my creativity and like channeling all those feelings into art and etc.
Were you creating at the time already?
Oh my gosh, I was like more into making music. I think back then, like I was really interested in like doing like electronic music
Yeah.
and like doing, um, and then like I also like got really into like recording and production of music. Like my friends and I like had a band and
Mm-hmm.
like we recorded and like we recorded like 3 albums and I like produced them all and like mixed
Ooh.
and mastered them and like they exist somewhere and they will never be released.
I'm taking this as
But
a personal challenge.
yeah, someone's gonna come along and insist that I break them out and be
No
like, this is
shit.
like here's the music I was making. I mean, it's out there. Actually, like, it's so funny. I was talking to Alexi
Mm-hmm.
about it, because he does a lot of like music recording and stuff, and I think I sent him a track like last year or something, and he
Yeah.
listened to it. And he was like, "Cool, good work."
Why does that, like, I'm not like surprised like about his reaction because like that's so him. Like he's like the
Yeah, yeah,
he has like not a lot of empathy. Like he's just like it's like the bare minimum sometimes.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's very honest as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, but I'm glad that I'm like an artist and not a musician because like I think I would be struggling a lot more if I was a
Mhm.
musician.
Yeah, definitely.
It takes so much like it takes so much to like be a really good musician. Um, but I feel like with artists, like I don't know. I think it's just like what you have the skill in, like what you have the calling for.
Mhm.
And I guess like with me, it was always more visual than auditory. You know.
But you could have done like the art covers if you did art at
Yeah,
the time. Imagine.
I did. I've done a lot of art covers. But yeah, I mean, at the time, I was doing like some more like abstract 3D stuff.
Mhm.
Like I used to just like make, um, like I used to just take like 3D shapes and like twist them and bend
Yeah.
them and like smash them and put them together in like weird ways, and
Mhm.
then take a camera and just like a 3D camera and just like zoom really far in and
Ooh,
like come up with like interesting compositions of like
that's
colors
cool.
and different kinds of textures. And I would just put textures on different polygons and like just go super macro in with like the camera and create different compositions that were just like very very
Mhm.
abstract and like nothing literal, like nothing, you know, nothing uh, formulaic or nothing like representative. It was all just like I was like very opposed to like letting what was inside of me like come out.
Yeah.
Like my art expressed itself like in a very very abstract way at that time because I was just like I just like didn't want I didn't want to like communicate any message.
Mhm.
It was more about just like
That's fine.
expressing a visual, like a visual motif, just like a visual
Yeah.
style. So I was doing like some of that stuff. I did that like all through my late 20s and early 30s, just like very abstract 3D stuff. And I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of fun with it, but I never shared it anywhere. I never posted it. Like I just have a folder like on my computer like
Yeah.
full of, old ones. I would always just like I basically would make them as my desktop background for my computer.
That's
Like
fine.
I would make them and use them for myself. Like just have them as a background for my computer.
That's very, that's very accurate with the abstract art scene. Basically, we just serve as a purpose for wallpapers.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Like usually when I get like comments on my work and like people find out about me, it's just like, oh, I have this artwork for 3 years as my phone background. I'm just like, well, welcome. This is me.
You.
I did that, and great to. It's nice to meet you. But it's fine. Like it's just another way of like spreading your work out there. Like we all know about like images and art pieces that we all have seen or heard or whatever, and we don't know who that is, but you're like, oh my god, yes, I know this, I've seen this before, and it's okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
have your name on everything, I guess. Have to be
Yeah.
comfortable with that.
I was just like scrolling through your Twitter and I saw like somebody like used your image as an album
I
thing like stolen.
Yeah, then yeah, that's just another topic as well. Just another kind of very popular thing that happens with abstract art as well. Um, Art theft in
Yeah.
general. Well, it happens to everyone, but like abstract shit is like top tier because like people are just like, yeah, it's a background, you know?
Yeah. It's
Like
nothing.
it's really nothing. Like it's not an illustration or whatever, so it's just a background. And like the guy that did that posted like a tutorial like process video on TikTok, and it was like, yeah, so this is how I made my album art cover and all of that. So I use this free stock image and it drags in my artwork. I'm just like, your what? The what?
Excuse me.
Excuse me, sir, what are you on about? Like, it was like
Yeah.
free stock image. That's me. So I'm kind of wondering if I should like
Ugh.
rename my account like that.
Free stock image. Oh my
That
god.
was weird, but
Art
it's
theft amongst like, especially now, like with the recognition that a lot of artists are getting, because of NFTs and the amount of sales and like a lot of us like were just graphic designers or photographers or
mhm.
3D artists, before, and like I feel like there's been a paradigm shift, like where so many of us are like, like coming out of the woodwork, like
Yeah.
stepping out into the daylight and being like, you know what, we're artists, like, and we demand to like be respected as artists. We're not just like designers or photographers or whatever. Like, I don't know, like Kat Samard, she
Yeah, yeah.
like that free Hawaii photo
Mhm.
um, drop, which was like really, really interesting in terms of like stolen art, like how many times that's been stolen, reposted.
Yeah. I
And then she
remember when
like
she did that. I was like, that's a very smart move, actually.
it was like a very cool thing, and like I have like a handful of like maybe just like one, maybe two like images that are just like super viral, that like people just like post.
Mhm.
But fortunately, I haven't had anything that was like really, really stolen like that. But I feel for you with that album. That's like that's so funny. You know,
It's okay. It's just that
how does it
um
make you feel? Like,
well, I've been on a journey with stolen art and copycats and all of that. It's been 6 7 years now that I've started all of this, and at first I was absolutely devastated. Like I remember like the first like 1, 2, 3 years when I started doing this. I remember being like I couldn't sleep because I was just like obsessing over like the people that were like absolutely just copying my style and my sentences and my personality and just like emulating who I am and who I was at the time, and drove me absolutely sick, like literally.
Yeah.
Like I was in such a bad state because of that. And the only thing that just really helps me and helped me at the time is to just like block, ignore, don't look at the mentions. And I also like started like replying to people who were actually like DMing me like, "Oh, this your work? Like this guy is like absolutely just like copying your style." And like the whole Instagram is all about that. And I'm just like, "Yeah, it's I'm aware of this person." There are like a couple of them that have been there for like years, and I'm always like, "Yeah, I'm aware of them. Like please do not mention them anymore. I don't want to see anything like that they do or post or say or whatever, because it's just like it's not useful to my life and it's just damaging to my mental health." So I'm trying to distance myself from that. But when it comes to art theft in general, I just try to choose my battles as well, because like it's every single day, literally. So I can't, like, I don't have the time to do that every single day and just like run after people. So what I do is that I just focus on like seeing if like it's a brand or something, if they're making any money from that. And trying to see if it's worth like sending like a cease and desist email or letter or something. It's just like something that I have like written already. Um, and I usually ask them like either for them to take it down, or ask them for compensation for licensing if they still want to use it, I guess. But I
Yeah.
always do this privately. Like I think I've never really bashed someone like on social medias or something. Like I usually I just like I would like retweet or just like do something, but I will never express myself publicly because I don't want to fuel the fire, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's not what I do. Like I've never like my social media platforms and all of that are just about like spreading like positivity and mental health and all of that, and I don't want to take part into any drama if that's possible, which is
Yeah.
difficult because like especially on Twitter and all of that, it's it's difficult because Twitter is like a very drama oriented platform, and it's difficult sometimes to wiggle your way like around those topics and just like be like a beacon of like positivity and all of that. It's difficult. I don't know.
Sure. No, I mean, um, I think a lot of times, like, I think we do have to, like, just understand that, like, part of, like, being, advocating for our own mental health and for the mental health of others is like, there is an aspect of like standing up for what's right, and
Yeah.
saying like this is not okay that like this person is like just like stealing my art and doing stuff, and like there's definitely like, you brought up a good point, like there's definitely like a fine line between, like what's someone like copying my work versus like stealing it. Like outright stealing it is just like that's never okay. Like, I've had
Yeah.
a few times like when pieces of mine were up on Rarible or OpenSea, with like different titles, and someone just like basically just took it and tried to sell it as an NFT,
Mhm.
or they like, a couple different ones where they like, you know, it's like, um, it's like just it's like half of it is my piece, and then they put themselves like in it, or they like cloned a different part of it, and it's like 95% my artwork, and then like they just added like one thing to it, and I'm like, this is not okay.
Or like an Instagram filter on top.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The best is like when they color correct it, and it's like, don't you know that like I like finally color corrected this, and then they blow out the levels, and
I
it's like you think that that looks good? Like, come on.
know. I like, dude, that hurts. That even hurts more than just you like stealing the art in the first place. It's like I'm stealing this, but it's not good enough.
It's not
Anyways,
good
I'm just
enough.
gonna
Yeah.
base
So
something
to
on
make it
top.
worse, I have to like tear it down even more.
The audacity of people sometimes it's very like it's flabbergasting to be honest. But
Yeah.
I agree with you that sometimes I show and I try to voice my opinion on those things. Not like every single day, but if I see someone dealing with that, I will perhaps like interact with their post or something and show my support. Or something um, that has to do like with let's say like harassment or like negativity like free negativity or something. And I did that a couple of times on
Yeah.
Twitter, and sometimes it's so weird to see like the replies that people have. Like I always try to formulate my sentences like in the nicest way possible, like most respectful way, and people are
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, no, you're such a bitch," and I was just like, "Okay, well, it's
Yeah. I think when I see it, I'm just like, I don't know who you are or what things are like where you live or what world you interact with normally,
mm-hmm,
but like in this community and with artists, this is generally not acceptable, you
it,
know.
yeah,
And I'm like, this is, the way that it works is, I just kind of like I try to be super factual, and I just try to be like, I'm sure you must have just not known that this is not okay. Because if you knew, you
mm-hmm,
wouldn't do this.
mm-hmm,
Because, like, ultimately, like, if you're out there, like, trying to take a shortcut like that, like, trying to, like, steal somebody's work, trying to, like, you will get found out. And like you won't just like you're not gonna just like get away with it forever. Like you might get away with it for a week,
mm-hmm,
um, but you're not gonna like make a career around stealing someone else's art. Like you're only gonna ruin your own reputation.
mm-hmm.
So I try to like tell people like this is like not a good idea, you know, to be out here just like stealing people's work because like no one's gonna respect you. No one's going to like no one's gonna start buying your work. Once they realize that like you just steal stuff, like it's not gonna work out well for you.
I
Um,
mean, we live, we learn. So as you say, like having the benefit of doubt, I guess, is
yeah,
important in those cases, and also like showing, I guess, forgiveness over time is important as well, depending on context and all of that. But yeah, it's a tough reality and something that's never gonna really go away. Never had, never will. So that leaves us somewhere where we're just trying to, I guess, navigate something that's very just difficult to navigate.
yeah,
Um, because as you mentioned, like people can sell like stolen artworks and all of that, and it's weird for like to see all of that and just like seeing like for example people impersonating others work etc and like selling for more or something like that, and
yeah,
you like in the meantime you're on the side and you're just like trying to get your work noticed or something, and it's been like fucking months and you're just like I have this piece, it is still there, it's still gonna be there because it's on the blockchain and never
yeah,
gonna leave that place. So it's a tough period of time like at the
yeah,
moment. Ooh.
yeah. I mean, I think right now, like, um, it is kind of a tough time right now. Like, I think like there was a lot of like I think there was just like a flood of enthusiasm and excitement last year around like buying digital art, which is like hugely important and like hugely like it's like a shift. You know, it's a global shift. It's a shift in society,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, there was like to say that it was a mania. I think is kind of accurate. You know, like it was
Yeah.
there was like a mania for digital art, um, especially like especially like when people were like making a lot of money. You know, um, and I don't mean artists. I mean like collectors
Mm-hmm.
who are coming in and buying up art, and then you know the value of that art was skyrocketing. It was very very exciting. Created sort of like a runaway train effect over the span of 6 months, a year, where people were like, "Oh my gosh, like this is great! Like I'm buying this Beeple piece for $1, and I turn around and sold it for $10,000, and like
Wish I had.
I mean, I didn't, I didn't. I just mean, collectors out there
Yeah.
were got really really excited about like investing in art, which is like a totally different thing than like I don't know, being an artist and being a creator like day in and day out, and like trying to communicate a message.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all like gets mashed up together, right? Like
Yeah.
we're all in this train together, like we're there, we're making art, we're out there like communicating our message about whether it's mental health or mindfulness and spiritual practice,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is that you're communicating. And and collectors are out there like, wow, your work is beautiful, like I want to put it in my collection. And at the same time there is sort of like always a like, I want this in my collection for life, but
Yeah.
I also expect that like in 5 to 10 years, like it's going to be worth something. It's not going to be worth nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because no one wants that. Like we all live under the rule of money. Like I'm not going to just go and buy stuff that I think is going to be worthless. Um, even if I believe that like that person deserves
Mm-hmm.
to be compensated for their time and their work. Um, it's a hard sell. That's all I'm trying to say. It's a hard sell for a lot of people. So like, and like, that's not to say like any of it is invalid or anything. It's just that I understand why the enthusiasm has waned. Like I understand why the enthusiasm has waned, and like for it to have continued in the way it was going, like would have been crazy. And it was awesome. I think for the time that it was, um, but like I think it's hard to like face the reality that like you know um, that like we're in sort of like a downtime, and then like you know and a lot of that has to do with like the state of the world too, and that
Yeah.
like we'll get back to a time like where people are really enthusiastic and interested in investing in art and investing in artists' careers, you know. And I don't think that that time is very far away. I just know that we're not there right now, like
It's
all of
fine.
these things, all of these things happen in cycles. All of these things like come and go, and I know that like we'll be back there. Like
Yeah.
before you know it, we'll be back there. But
Yeah, proof is that actually at the probably at the same time last year or something, like I think we were having the same conversation, to be honest, because like we were
yeah,
facing like a downtime. So again, like it's a full circle moment, I guess. So trying to be optimistic about it. Um but I guess my main concern is that at the end of the day, am I going to be able to pay the bills? Which is always my main concern, and like I guess it's for everyone. But for now, obviously, it's fine. Like I have a wonderful life, I guess. At least like materially speaking. Um, because spiritually speaking is a different thing, obviously, but like materially speaking, I'm in such a better place than I was before, and I'm very very grateful for that. But it's just that having that kind of comfort makes you always want more, and I'm trying to fight that urge because I think it's just addictive in a way, and I'm very bad with addictions in general. um we were talking about rehab and all of that, so obviously you may know by now that I have a an addiction past, I guess. um and just a tendency to addictions in general, so anything can become like an obsession, and an obsession can become an addiction as well. So the it's a fine line, I guess, between the
Right.
two.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
trying to shift my focus on something else every time I think about it. I'm just like, nope, I'm gonna do that instead, and just like go for a walk, and just like work out for a few more minutes or something, and just like try not to think about it, and obviously avoid social media for that. We were talking about that with Nicole last week,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, I don't check my main feed a lot. I don't. I try not to just look too deep into what people say or do, because even if they're my friends or something, like it just makes me feel bad about myself, like the comparison kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm on the right path, but I'm gonna need I need to get older, much like you. Like I feel like you're like the wise man in like my friend circle or something. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Like I'm gonna live. I'm gonna make this work with time and practice. It's going to be fine. But for now, I feel bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. Like things are just complicated. Like it's I'm just tired of like being like one day I'm feeling fine starting the day like as a good day, and then like one single thing happen and like the day is ruined, the week is ruined because that shifts my mood, and I can't focus on working because like I am having like a 3 hours like panic crisis and like obsession crisis, and just like can't do anything else. It's just I don't know how people do it, like because like there's always something that goes between you and your work, like when it comes to mental health, and you're just like stuck into it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
tough.
mean, I mean, you brought up a number of good points, like just speaking first to like the financial aspect of being an artist, and like the addictive quality of like material goods, and like like
Yeah.
wanting to like jump into that. Um, I think it's so common for artists to like be obsessive and be like have addictive personalities. Like we're so emotional and like so expressive that like um, you know I'm really in touch with like my feelings, and like some people their feelings don't matter that much to them,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I
But
guess.
for me, like I think for artists, like our feelings are like the most important thing to us, like they, it kind of like dictates my day. It kind of dictates my actions. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like people like my brother. My brother's like a very, I don't know which brain it is, right brain, left brain. I don't remember. I'm an artist. He's the opposite. Um,
So he's a
he
Capricorn, basically.
he's he's a Sagittarius. He's a
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. But no, the Sagittarius is like they're the archer, right? So um, he's like a straight shooter, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like that's the
Yeah, that
metaphor
makes
that
sense.
I take away for Sagittarius is like he's like very matter of fact and like very scientifically oriented, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like I had a feeling the other day, I don't remember what it was or why it mattered, but he doesn't really care. You know, he just doesn't really care about his feelings, and he doesn't really pay attention to them. Anyway, that's a long tangent to say that, like, you know, I feel like my emotions a lot of time, like, really do govern, like, my day to day state of things and, like, how I go through my day. And, you know, you talked about, like, you know, diverting, like, from productivity, like, to handle like just an emotional like upwelling. Um, but yeah, like there's like there's an addictive tendency to like to success, you know, especially like as an artist,
Mm-hmm.
like you see that happen like with rock stars, you know, like they get more and more success and like they get more and more like they're just like more
Mm-hmm.
and like you know just to bring it full circle to your like rock star moment of turning 27. Let's like not go too far off the deep end.
Ah!
Uh, we want to keep you around.
I have a so I've made this cake to order. Like I ordered this custom cake and it says Happy Death Year on top
Oh,
and it's like all
nice.
vintage and like with flowers and shit.
Wow,
Because I
that's
feel like
dark.
this that's dark. I am dark. Like inside I'm very very dark. But no, it's just
Your art is so colorful.
I know. It's it's a contrast, I guess. I'm
Yeah,
both of
fair
these
enough. I
persons.
love
But you're so right. But like, do you think because so when you talk about success for me, I feel like it also ties in very deeply with well actually the shift with NFTs and all of that and like the fact that we are at the center of our world and career right now whereas before, for example, when it was like on Instagram or something like that, I feel like success like wasn't really a thing. Like it was more like, of course, like numbers, which defined success, I guess. So let's say like followers count and all of that. But now it's more about like your actions and like achievements, I guess,
that.
like in the art realm. And I feel like for me, that's a new thing that I've been coming across uh, with like entering NFTs and like just crypto art in general is that now I feel like everything that I do is actually tied to me, like as a person. And this is absolutely both amazing and terrifying because I absolutely hate myself. Like, why would I rely on this person to be like the master of my success? I don't know. It's horrible just thinking about it.
I have to say, it hurts me to hear you say that you hate yourself. I hope
I
that you
know.
don't actually hate
I
yourself.
know, I'm sorry, but I'm working on it very, very hard, I promise. Like, I actually can find things that I do love about myself, but most of the time, I'm just, it's the first thing I think, like, when I think about myself is that, but then I have other thoughts that I just take in
Sure.
to counteract that thought, as I guess, which wasn't the case before. So we're getting somewhere, you know. But sorry about
No,
that.
I
Go
can
ahead.
say that. No, I can say that at least to counteract that those negative feelings you have about yourself, you got to know that there are hundreds and thousands of people who do love you and who do care about you and who do want you to be the master of your life and to you know continue to share all the good work that you do. You know,
I'm trying.
um,
I'm trying to
it's
remind myself about that.
it really is a powerful and beautiful thing, especially like I mean I was so inspired like just seeing what you did when I came into the NFT space that you like were basically just like I am going to like create a space for people artists to talk about mental health, like in a way that is safe and inviting. Like that's already like that's already like 10 times more than 90% of people are like doing to like actually like really support the community, like to like you know um, it's already like so much more, and like that's a ton of responsibility, and that's a ton of like it's a ton of work, to like be on Discord and like be on social media and like actually like show up for people. Like we can't just like and it's also like you have to be aware that like if you're if you're really like showing up for other people and like listening to other people's problems and telling them like they're gonna be okay, like and like not to worry about things, like you have to counterbalance that with like self care, because like you can't just like be the punching bag,
It's
all the time,
draining.
you
Yeah.
know. But there's a huge amount of respect, huge amount of respect for it.
Thank
And
you.
I don't like this space would not be the same without you. Like the space really
Hey,
needs
I'm gonna
you.
cry.
It's
I'm gonna
good.
cry, especially because I had such a very, very hard weekend. Like,
Yeah,
I had such bad thoughts and like reactions and impulsive behaviors and all of that. And
yeah,
I went into Mondays and into the week like, oh, I don't want to do this again. Like, this is
yeah.
absolutely tiring
Dang,
and exhausting.
that sounds like me.
How do you manage that? Like, because do you feel
I
like
mean,
being on repeat, like, how does that feel for you?
it's not easy. It's not easy. I like, you know, I think like I just have to remind myself that like I'm in it until I decide not to be in it, and then I do something else, But as long as I'm gonna like do it, I may as well like show up, Like I think like showing up is like they say showing up is half the battle, but like it's actually like 90% of the battle. Like, um, I was supposed to have a meeting with somebody on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and like they didn't show up, you know,
Okay.
um, and it was not art related. It was just like I was supposed to meet a friend,
Yeah.
but like I think just showing up is like 90% of it, because
Yeah.
like it's that's the mental block for me. Like I'm afraid to show up for things. Like I'm afraid to show up for my own life. I'm afraid to show up for my work. I'm afraid to show up at my desk and sit down and make art. Like I'm afraid to just show up, and like I think for me it's like asking the universe to just kind of like give me, whatever like motivation to show up, and then like kind of like trust that like I can walk through it, like one step at a time. Like
Mm-hmm.
just like I know I'm gonna get to the other side of this, and I'm gonna like I have to like look back too, to help myself look forward. Like I have to like look at like where was I like 10 years ago, like, and where was I 5 years ago, and where was I like last year, like, like 2 years ago I didn't know what NFTs were, like 2 years ago like I didn't know how to like do any of this stuff, and like I managed to like, the past Josh gave current Josh the gift of showing up, so that like I'm here now, like, and I can say thank you to like my past self, like for things like quitting smoking, too. It's like thank you for doing that, because like I don't want to like I'm glad that I'm not a smoker anymore, like, or like thank you for doing every days for a year,
That's
because like I
right.
learned so much doing it, so like I have to like remember that like, showing up for my life today, like I'll be grateful for it in the future, even if I don't want to do it like right now, like even if it's not rewarding right now, it's almost like I don't know, it's almost like training, like you go to like if you're like a
Mm-hmm.
baseball player or something, like you go and practice, even though there's like nothing happening right now, it's like you just show up and like keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I think like right now, especially like with the market and everything, like it's just like building relationships and like building connections with people, and like I'm just reaching out to like so many different people. Like the one thing that's really nice right now is like it's a lot easier to get people's attention.
That's actually right. That's a very good point.
Like because there's a little bit less noise right now. So like I've been able like like Deepak Chopra.
Mm-hmm.
He has like an NFT foundation called Metaverse,
Mm-hmm.
and I just reached out to them and I was like, hey, like let's do something, like, and I heard back from them, and like I can't say anything more right now, but like I did hear back from them, and like I think like maybe a few months ago, like it would have been a lot harder to like
Mm-hmm.
actually get somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
So like right now it's kind of cool. Like there's like if there's any advice I could give to like people who are feeling like nothing's happening right now, it's like if there's anybody you want to work with, like try reaching out to them now because like there's a lot less noise.
That's a very good advice, actually. I
Yeah.
feel like that's something I don't do. Like, I think I mentioned that on the last episode as well, but I never reach out when it comes to like showing my work and like doing things for my work
Yeah.
because I'm obviously very much lacking self confidence
Yeah.
and I don't want to annoy people. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like, so that's kind of like taking me back from doing it. But,
But
um,
there's always like that one person that's like, I would, I would like bring you coffee. Like I don't care. I just want to talk to you.
that's true.
Like people I idolize. Like I love Deepak Chopra. Like I love his like everything he has to say. I love his insights. I think he's brilliant. So I'm kind of just like I'm like, hey, like,
But that's so nice that you actually take the first step to do that, and that
yeah,
that that makes me think about everything that you just said and the fact that there's a lot of fear involved uh that just holds us back from taking that step. And as they say, of course, fear is the mind killer. Shout out to my boy Frank Herbert. uh,
hmm
but it's just a sentence that always sticks with me because it's
yeah,
it makes us avoid so many things, and
yeah,
also it's a concept that's fabricated by our minds. So again, like the power of the mind itself is astonishing because it just works against you so many times, and it's so strong in just like making us believe
yeah,
things, and fear
yeah,
is one of them because like that's just something intangible.
yeah.
um
Yeah, it's funny. Like I was reading this thing this morning, like we, how magical, like words are, and like how our brain operates using words, and like like if we talk to ourselves in negative ways, like we manifest like negative realities.
mhm.
And that's not like some like magical like you know spiritual like woo like whatever, like that's the reality. Like if I tell myself like I'm terrible, like I'm gonna fail, like then like I probably will,
Mhm.
or I'm just gonna make it a lot harder for myself. I think it was like I forget what the quote was now. I don't remember it. Oh, I have it here. I'll read it to you. Can I read you this quote? Oh, it's Sigmund Freud.
Oh,
He
my
said,
boy.
"Words and magic were in the beginning one and the same. Even today, words retain much of their magical power." So he was basically saying like like at the beginning of like language, like words and magic were like the same thing. Like he
Mhm.
basically like
It's funny
the
because
words
like
that you use.
I do
Yeah,
not agree with everything that Freud said or did in his
sure, yeah,
practice. There's a lot of things that are actually true, and that resonate with me. And I think it's about like, getting bits and bobs here and there, but that actually really resonates with me, and I think that's something I've been struggling so much. I don't know if it's because like my throat chakra is so overactive or something, but
Mm,
that's what I do. Like my throat chakra is very open. um it's part of my personality. I'm a Gemini. My throat chakra is like all like there. So words for me matter so much,
yeah, yeah,
and they can absolutely change my perception of anything that will be said or done, I guess. And I have a lot of arguments, like for example with my partner or anything, like when he doesn't use like the right words or something, or when someone
yeah,
uses words in a certain way,
yeah,
and it affects me so much. Like it can
yeah,
drive me in states of actual panic.
yeah, yeah.
And
I wonder, and this is a personal question, and if you don't want to answer this, that's fine. Like, is there anything like being bilingual that like you feel confused sometimes, like by hearing like certain words, like or certain phrases, like that you like? Because I feel like sometimes like when I speak to people who speak more than one language, like the words are sometimes like not quite exactly the meaning, and I try to give, especially those people like a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt, and I don't know if that's like really the I don't know if that's like an appropriate question or anything,
it
or if
is.
you,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
actually, it makes sense. And I think that's something I never really address. I always make fun of like being French and all of that. And obviously, I have practiced English for like my entire life, like ever since I was
yeah,
like a child or something.
yeah.
So
And
the
your English is fine. It's not bad at all. It's
no, but
but there's different phrases, like there's different ways of saying things in different languages, and like
mm-hmm.
like we're just talking right now about how powerful like and how much like there's almost this magical power to like words manifesting into thoughts and emotions and into reality. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's important to have the right words.
It's important, and also it's interesting to see how different languages and words influence my behavior as well. Like, for example, when I talk in English and all of that, I will behave in a certain way, which is close to how I behave in French, but there's more precautions when I
Mm-hmm.
talk. There's more, I don't know, there's a different tone, there's a different humor as well. Um, and certain things don't translate really well, like from one or the other. So when I first started being very active on social media in English and all of that, I felt like I wasn't really being myself. I feel like now I'm feeling more comfortable in my own skin in both languages, but it was hard. Like, just I don't know. It's and sometimes it's easier as well, like in a different language than yours. Like French is my native language, but sometimes I just feel like I want to express things in English because, like, if I say it in French, it sounds too real. It sounds off. It sounds harsh as well. Like I don't know. Like so sometimes I will say things in English, and I think that's why I really love it here in Montreal. It's because like here, the city is very multilingual, I guess, and people usually speak like English and French, both languages very well. So you can be either understood in English or French. And that gives you the option. I don't know. Like
That's
having an option is fun. Like you don't have
it's
to
cool.
express yourself in one single manner. And also, I'm very much picky in French.
Yeah.
Like if you say something and you're trying to make a point to me, and you say a specific word, like that can change my whole perspective and how I receive the sentence. I will be like, what the fuck? Why would you say that to me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you just described like an additional layer of like being a Gemini. Anyway.
Duality.
Yeah.
That's a fucking nightmare. Okay.
No, but I
Yeah.
think like the importance of using words is like really powerful, and like I just want to say this one last thing. Like I know like we've been talking for like probably a little over an
It's
hour
fine. It's fine.
now.
Don't worry.
I do have to jump pretty soon, but
Okay, cool. It's okay with me.
yeah, but like I'm reading right now. Do you know Brené Brown? Um, she's like um, she's like a psychological, emotional talker, thinker, writer,
Okay.
researcher. Brené Brown is her name.
Bre-
Um,
Brené.
Brené Brown. Yep.
Is this like because that doesn't sound like English at all? So.
Well, I don't know how she got. She's from like Texas, I think. So
Oh,
I don't know how
Texas.
she got the name Brené, but yeah,
Okay.
it's Brené Brown. She's amazing. She's incredible. She just wrote this. She There's a Netflix special out that she did. It's called The Atlas of the Heart. Um, and she wrote a book with it too, and I'm reading it right now. And it's basically like it's all about like I'm right in the middle of reading it right now, so it's crazy that we're having this conversation. But it's all about having the right words for feelings, you know, and like it's all about like it basically goes through. It's like a dictionary of like
Oh my god, I love that.
feelings. It's like a dictionary of feelings. It's like this
Mm.
is grief, this is sadness, and this is how they're different. You know, and we interviewed all these people and all these psychologists and all these doctors to like, you know, talk about like how grief differs from sadness, which differs from disappointment, which differs from, you know, whatever. Like, and then it's like anger versus frustration versus upset and like why they're different, and it's like it's awesome. It's a
That
really
is
good book.
so inspiring and actually
Yeah.
something I would have loved like discovering like yesterday
Yeah.
because it's everything. It's chef kiss because like we need that kind of knowledge. And like
Yeah.
I really do feel like educating people on words and how to
Yeah.
express themselves, like their feelings, what they think,
Hmm.
etc., makes such a huge difference in how we perceive and apprehend them and
Right.
the concepts they're trying to convey and all of that.
Yeah.
And I feel
I mean,
like
she makes a specific point in the book that like it is absolutely crucial to use the right words to in order to like really process feelings. Like that the research has shown that like in therapy, like just labeling feelings like is like half the battle. You know, like it's realizing that like oh like I'm in grief. You know,
yeah,
then you like realize, oh, now I can like move forward. Like, but it's like, and it's just a word, you know. It's just a putting a word on it and that's all it is, you know. And but it's so important.
it is, and that's why therapy is very important for that. And that's interesting that you mentioned words because you know, you go to therapy, like let's say, yeah, like you have a therapist and you go there, you have like several appointments every single year and all of that, and you keep saying the same things over and over again, and they keep like talking back to you if that's the approach you've chosen with your therapist, of course. But sometimes, like just a difference in the way the sentence is formed or which word is used, that's when you have that spark, you know, and you're like, oh, now I get it. And it's all because of words and ways of saying things. And it's just like, I don't know where we don't like bring more awareness to that. And
Yeah,
especially in context like Twitter, for example, for us that very much
yep,
use Twitter, which is a word based platform, in my opinion,
yep,
it would be
it is.
so important.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what are we doing?
yeah.
gonna
What is
gonna start
it?
writing a book right now. I'm done. Amazing.
Yeah, it's you know, you did bring up the part about social media, and like avoiding checking the feed. It's like, um, I think, and the fact that Twitter is such a word-based platform, and so is much of social media and the internet in general, like word-based. Um, that's one of the reasons, like I low key still like Instagram, is because like it really is like just images, you know,
Yep.
like the reels part of it has like really thrown me for a loop, but like I still follow like mostly only artists, and I mute a lot of like just random people that post pictures about their life and stuff.
Hmm.
And like it's mostly just art on my feed, and I get to like just look at art. But that's kind of a tangent. But you know, like the consumption of like that volume of words, like and how much like our mind operates through words and translates into like manifesting our reality. You know, it's a really interesting through line. Like it's a really interesting connection, because like the words that we use like matter so much, and we're consuming so much words like through the internet, like through social media, especially Twitter.
Hmm.
Like, you know, and when you have like when you're scrolling through, and you know they came up with this term a couple years ago, doom scrolling, like during COVID. Like when you're reading like, oh, the market's down, like, oh, like I lost money, like, and it's like you're just consuming that, and you're reading this for like, you know, a half an hour or
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
15 minutes, and then your brain is like, everything's bad, you know. You know, and your brain's like, the world is bad, you know, and you just absorb this like
Yes.
negative viewpoint, and like it's really really bad if you're like on Twitter, like just following gossip and following like tabloid stuff, and it's like, you know, it's just like poisons your mind with those words, and then like you live that reality, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And that's also why I think reconnecting with your own vocabulary sometimes is important.
Yeah,
Hence the importance of like writing,
yeah,
writing thoughts, writing anything that makes you feel comfortable is important because you can just like reconnect with things that aren't like necessarily externally impacted by, I guess, and just practice your inner dialogue as well and dictionary, which is something
yeah,
that we all have, but it's created in many different ways, and of course like it's created by like seeing all of that content, like that's an external
yeah,
factor basically.
yeah, yeah. That's a really interesting point. Um, yeah, God, I feel like we can talk for like hours.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna keep you much more longer on that, but like it was so interesting. Like, oh my god,
Yeah,
like I need another conversation on that because it's amazing. So I will make sure to link
yeah,
the book that you mentioned on the
yeah,
description bar below. I'm doing the YouTuber thing,
yeah. Down
right?
below.
Subscribe to my channel.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was. Oh my god, I love talking with you. It's
I
always
can't wait to do
amazing.
it again. This is great.
Same.
This is great.
And
Yeah,
hopefully we can meet again very soon
yeah,
in the real world as well.
yeah.
I miss
I'll
you
be
there.
I'll be around, so I'm always down to meet up
Me
real life
too.
or
I'll
around the city.
maybe after surgery. uh,
Yeah,
I'll.
I hope that you start feeling better soon. My girlfriend is also struggling right now.
Oh no, poor
Going for
baby.
an MRI today, so
Okay, well, take care. I hope you can like the house will be fine. I hope it will
good
be
here. Yeah,
welcoming to you and that you will create many more memories in there that are gonna erase the pain of other ones.
yeah.
And until then, I will wish everyone a very good week. Take care. Discipline yourself when it comes to your mental health. It's a practice based thing. Wear your SPF, drink your water, and until then, talk soon.
Thank you again.
Bye bye.
Bye.